Alright, hi everybody, and welcome back to another Fig review. Review. Obviously, I got a lot going on today. I have got the newest release of the Gorillaz SuperPlastic. Airs is going to be playing today, apparently, in the background. That's what she's decided. But from their music video where they were in the spacesuits, I've been really excited about these because I think they just look a little bit more dynamic with already just the colors and obviously just having a nice crew. And hopefully they'll be nicer than the last SuperPlastic crew series. I thought that the actual characters themselves are kind of basic, while the instruments were really, really nice and the standout piece for that last series. But we're going to look at each of them. So all four, open them all up in this one video. I know it's going to be a little bit of a longer video. I will make timestamps in the description so that way you can skip ahead if you are interested in one particular figure. But let's go ahead and roll right in. I guess I got my hand on Russell, so we'll go ahead and start with him. Alrighty, before we go fully into the actual figures, because I did pre-order, I got the pins that they give you along with them. So there is one for each character. So first is Noodles, 2D, Murdoc, and then Russell. So pretty excited. I'm probably gonna put them next. I don't know if you can see them, but I got the other ones over there. Probably put those all together. Now, because these boxes are obviously so huge, I'm not gonna put them on my spinner disc thing, my Lazy Susan, whatever you wanna call it. And so just so you can get an outside look at the box, obviously there's just the cool art design on the front. On the side, we got the logo with the galaxy print. On the back, this is the same on each of them, but they have all four of them standing together. Just general cool designs. More space stuff, the bottom, and then the top. I'll show the box art from the other ones up close for you too, but obviously the ones that aren't that different, we're not gonna really, like the back part and the fact that they all say super plastic, you get the idea. Let's open them. Oh, and on the top, I mean, this is some just kind of basic design stuff, but I mean, hey, there's something there. As well as some instructions that are falling out. Boom! So you just kind of get an outside look. Packaging. Be careful, don't cut yourself like I almost did. Oh my god. Pretty standard. It's got the front and the back shell. But you can see they do come with batteries, which there's going to be something that lights up, which is really exciting. I just forgot that that was a thing. So, and of course there is like a protective wrap inside. Alright, so first things first, because he's loose and out, we got to put the batteries in. And you just unscrew it, you put them in. We're going to skip this step for the rest of them as well. Alrighty, but here is Russell out of the box. No lights on yet. We will do that though in a second. But let me tell you, putting in those batteries, not fun. I also went through and did all the other ones. Still not that fun. It wasn't too bad once I got a proper screwdriver and didn't just use my multi-tool, but it was still a pain even just putting the batteries in, because obviously you saw they were those little tiny whatever batteries. But he looks great. He's got this nice stunning orange. It looks cool already from a distance. And of course, turn on the lights. We'll turn some of them off for you here. Won't turn them all off because you still want to see them, but that nice glow, which they all have. So I'm very excited for that. But let's take a quick close look at him. Just so you have an idea of about how tall he is. Just under 13 inches, not quite hitting, not quite touching, definitely above 12. Width is a little bit strange because again, I mean, he's got really, he's just planted on his feet. The feet from front to back are only like 2.5 inches. But if you do want to know about how wide he goes off in total, I'd say that's about 4 inches. That's from the suitcase to his belly. Side to side, his feet go out, I would say that's 5 inches, give or take. These are all loose estimates because there's not anything really concrete to measure here. But the furthest that his sides go out I would say would be about 6 inches from his shoulder to his arm. We're gonna look closer up, starting off first with his face. We're gonna turn the light off though. You kind of get a cool glimpse of that there. But with them off, now honestly, these figures look kind of silly with the lights off. They are definitely meant to be shown off with the lights on, but you can't do that all the time because that's a lot of batteries. There is a clear plastic orb for the front of the helmet, so you can still see his face peering through. You can of course see the inner suit inside. He's got kind of like a salmony pink kind of in those corners there, kind of hard to see just because of the angle, but the cool giant like earphone looking speaker things, but these look like they're all more like speakers versus actual astronaut stuff. Like that, those just look like speakers, right? That's not just me. But still cool. It's got the black with the red, white trim all the way around and down the suit. All the just white trim, more the black and the red. They have these really simple designs on the side. I don't know if those are a direct reference to something. Definitely not anything that I recognize. So if you know what it is, of course, just let us know. The boots going into his legs. They put a little bit of paint on the bottom as well as the logo. I think it's kind of a nice touch. It's just a nice simple gray. And the book bag. Pretty, again, simple, cool. It's the white with the black and red accents. You can see the stuff down here. Now, this is where the batteries go. You unscrew it, you need a Phillips head, on and off switch. This is where you would put a stand, but he doesn't come with one. Basically what happened for these book bags, when I was rolling through, looking at all of them, putting the batteries in, they literally just copied and pasted this on each one of the figures. So this looks the same whether they have a stand, whether they don't have a stand. This part is a little bit funky, and even you can look inside and see some of the wires if you get a good angle on it. This part does feel a little bit cheaper than the rest of the figure, so that's not fun, but what can you do, you know? That's it for Mr. Rusty Boy. I mean, I still like him. I think he looks cool. Orange is actually my favorite color, so I really like the orange that they used for this. I think his pose, while pretty stoic, it is Russell. He is supposed to be pretty grounded, but they still added at least like a nice little touch with like him grabbing onto one of the buttons or the tubey holes, I don't know. And then of course just some nice little finger flares for him on this hand. So while it isn't super dynamic, I think they did a good job of kind of putting his character into that for good old Russie. But let's go ahead and continue on. Boom, so next, because he was just closest, we have Murdoc, just so you can see the outside box art. Again, it's just concept design. And here he is kind of in his shell packaging. Now, Murdoc has the biggest packaging of them all. Seems like they kind of overdid it a little bit because, I mean, maybe not overdid it. Maybe it was a great thing that they did this because of how bent it is. Here he is though, out of the container. What we need to do for him, because obviously well, I mean, you probably could get him to stand, but he doesn't really stand like this. He does come with an actual display stand. Thank goodness. If I didn't already say this gripe earlier, the last set of SuperPlastic Gorillaz figures did not come with stands. They just use their feet. Obviously, we see that in this series as well. We already saw it with Russell, but at least Russell has big fat feet because of the astronaut boots. The other ones that I got, they fall over every day until I lean them on something or have them basically falling onto another figure. Some of them have gotten damaged because of that. So really stinks. Not horrible, horrible damage, but what can you do? Easy to connect though. You see this little cross in the back. This is the stand. It's just clear. All you do is you take the slanted part. You can see that this part, well, maybe you can see it, but this part is straight, this part is slanted. You just shove it right on up the arsehole. And it's actually pretty easy. It just clicks on, and now he's really tall, so we gotta move the camera again. There we go. Of course, the same things with Russell where he's got like just this nice bold green. Very obviously similar designs. They're not supposed to look too different, but the colors I think all complement each other really well. So I'm very excited to see them all together. Now, of course, we're gonna put the lights on. There we go. So there he is, lit up. Again, way cooler with the lights on. These figures are made to have the lights on. When they're not on, they look a little bit funky. And I think for Murdoc, his is probably so far my favorite of the two because you can see his pupils on them too. Because the other ones are all probably going to have pretty just glossed over eyes, but his gets that extra little bit of expression. So I'm really excited for his. But of course, let's look closer at him really quick. We're going to pop him back off his stand. These are actually really easy to take back on and off. Thank goodness. I really appreciate that since I'm going to have to repack all these bad boys back up since I'm going to be moving soon. Now, Murdoc on his stand, because you're never going to not display him without the stand, just under 16.5 inches. Now, his actual base itself, front to back. So front to back 5 inches, side to side, we got 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. Now, the furthest that he goes out on each side, when you go from toe to heel, I would say just under 9 inches to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. It's kind of like almost 8.5, but close enough. And the furthest he goes out from side to side, this is from his pinky finger over here to his other pinky finger. Again, just to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, I would say 10. I would say 10. But really quick first look just at his face up a little bit closer, as close as I can get it, of course. Again, I think they did a great job for his face. He just has a lot of expression. It's just that classic kind of Murdoc, I guess, funniness, but he's just wild and crazy, and that's what we love to see. Now, with the light off, like I mentioned, it's not bad, but it definitely doesn't look great. It's because the eyes are gray versus being white, so it just looks more dead than usual. Russell and Murdoc and Noodle and 2D, they're all going to have basically the same outfit. It's just different colors. So you get the idea. White, red, black accents with the main focus on him, of course, being green, because what other color is Murdoc going to wear other than green or black? So I think this just looks like a really nice green. It's like a bright, limey green, but with just a little soft touch of pasteliness to it, especially with the soft plastic that they tend to use for these. Now his actual pose is obviously a lot more dynamic because he is supposed to be jumping and stuff. That's why he came with the stand as well, so he can be floating through the air. So I think it looks really cool. He also has that same kind of like red salmony pink for his ears. He does have detailing on his gums and things with the red, and then obviously the white for his teeth. They did a good job of sculpting the face on this one, so I really like this a lot. Of course, all the same stuff on the bottom, the back, but it just looks good. I mean, I think the hand detailing was really interesting on these. Like, they just look really cool, especially with them being in these big, bulky outfits. So, very excited. I think Murdoc looks great, but we're gonna go ahead and move on. We now have Noodle. She's in her lovely, just blue astronaut suit. Again, cover art. There is her big shell packaging, again really huge, not as big as Murdoc's was, but still pretty sizable. Oh, unfortunately, as you just saw, I was just moving it. I'm not really like being super aggressive with them, and this just opened up. They definitely could do something maybe a little bit more with their packaging. I mean, again, at least the figure looks safe for now, but not really usually a good sign. Now we got Noodle out of her box. Pretty cute, pretty cute. We're gonna, of course, put her on the stand the same way we did as Murdoc. Alrighty, but let's get the girl spinning, spinning, spinning. Obviously, Noodle's probably my favorite character from Gorillaz. You know, she's an icon, she's a legend, she's fantastic. She has a light baby blue. I think that's nice, so it again kind of just adds that contrast where the other three are these like stark neon colors, and she's just like a nice soft blue. Obviously her pose is really dynamic, so it just looks awesome seeing her getting ready to explode things on the moon. So fantastic. And there she is with the lights dimmed and her eyeballs on. She, like Murdoc, she does have pupils on her eyes. Again, I think that just looks nice when they actually have the pupils. Obviously the other two characters don't usually have pupils, so it doesn't really count. But I think it just looks interesting because it's kind of cool just seeing that glow to it. And especially with her and Murdoc, with their poses and their positioning and their facial expressions, it's just the perfect little mwah touch to it, you know? Now, Miss Noodle's measurements, again, these are more unique, so bear with me as I get as close as possible. The base, the same as Murdoc's, 5 inches front to back, 4.5 inches side to side. Now, the furthest that she extends out, now this is going to be from bottom of her foot to the toe of her foot, about 8 inches with some wiggle room in there, of course. And she's probably gonna be the skintiest of all of them, and I would put her, it's a little bit hard because it's like from her elbow down to her other elbow and like the dynamite here. So take this in an air of caution. I'd say go with 7 inches. Go with 7 inches. Again, give yourself some space. You can always kind of wiggle her around and fit her in places because of how her pose is set, but close enough. Noodle's height from base to pointer finger, 15.5. Now, first thing off the bat, just looking at her face with the glowing eyes, so you can kind of see that a little bit closer. I still like Murdoc's expression more than Noodle's maybe, but I do think that hers is still really, it's just fun. She's just having fun, going crazy ballistic, and what can we not enjoy about that? With the lights off, again, it just doesn't look right. These figures are made to have the lights on. Now, once again, we've already looked at two of the figures. They're really all very similar with the white, red, and black accents to their primary color, in her case being this light baby blue. So we're just going to move along. It's kind of the same idea. They have all the same design, same book bag, same everything. Unique things for her though. Obviously her face is much different, where again you can see they have a little bit of color to her lip there. So it's just kind of like peeking out the corner, where Murdoc we saw the gums, for her we got the lip. On her face, you can see they just kind of painted little eyelashes on. Now, they look kind of funky, I won't lie, but it's not the worst that I've maybe seen from SuperPlastic. So their figures can kind of be all over the place, it seems. She also does come with a little dynamite exploder, which is funny now that I think about it, because she's holding the dynamite in her hand, but the button is on the dynamite. Wouldn't the dynamite be somewhere else? I mean, it looks cool, don't get me wrong, but she's literally just gonna blow herself up. So, and that's her. I mean, again, love the pose. She got her finger pointing up, the bomb in one hand. It looks great. And last but not least, I saved the singer for last, and he's got the pink and the blue, so I really like his probably the most. It's 2D. There is that front design, and here he is with his batteries falling out and his front piece about to fall off from the back piece, but you kind of get an idea of what he looks like in that packaging. Alrighty, and at last, our final boy is free. Ooh. Alrighty, and fourth time's the charm. We are on to our last boy. Obviously, just so you can see an outside look of him, he's got this bright popping pink, nice and bright, which I just love it, especially with his like light blue contrast in his hair. And of course, so you can see him without the lights and his lights on. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here he comes. It's not on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So much for that reveal. But I got him working. So he looks great, of course, with the lights on. That's his thing. You know, they already made a figure with his eyes lighting up. Personally, I think the other one still just looks cooler because this is just more stoic, but with all of them lit up together, it's gonna look cool. Now, I just ran into an issue, which probably you guys are gonna run into it as well, because I mentioned the backpacks are probably not very well made. I had to pull it open, push the batteries in a little bit, jostle them around, and then all of a sudden the light started flickering on. So you might every now and then just have to kind of give it a good old smack, or, you know, open it all the way up and just jiggle them around. Probably not safe, but we're gonna pull them in for his close-up here, and we are getting close to the end, guys. Appreciate you for sticking around to the end if you did. I know this is a very long video. If you like what I do, I mean, I do casual figure reviews all the time, as well as just other fun stuff every now and then. Love to see you around. We keep it friendly, we keep it chill. I'm obviously not the most professional, but that's not the point. It's obviously meant to be fun, if you didn't already pick that up from all this crap. And the last measurements for the day. 2D obviously just stands on his own 2 damn feet. So his feet distance, well, the furthest his tippy toes go out is just under 4 inches. Back and forth, I'd say 3.5. From top to bottom, he is just under 13. The furthest that he goes out from side to side is gonna be about 5 inches, hand to hand. From toe to book bag, 4.5, maybe 5, 4.5, 5. First things first, boom, it's his face. Now, this is a pretty classic, just, you know, not really smug is the right word, but just kind of disassociating and happy face that he has, I guess is a good way to put it. Just happy to be here. The lights look great. Without the lights on, as we know, isn't going to be as exciting, but that's just kind of how it is. Now, I don't mind it on the ones that have like the fully dark eyes as much. Obviously, like for Russell and 2D, they usually don't have pupils and stuff anyway, so it doesn't just look weird. It just kind of looks how they would normally. Like, this is a pretty cool angle, honestly, because his eyes are usually black. Now, his face is probably my least favorite of them all. I don't know if it's going to pick up super well, but he's got some eye crusties in this front eye here, where like the paint was maybe a little bit too thick, or it got cut kind of funky. I feel like the paint on his hair here could have been a little bit better. You can obviously see his skin and his eyebrow kind of transferred on the edge of the hair. I just felt like it could have been a little bit better. What more can I really say? Now, I do like that he's looking off to the side. It just kind of changes how the dynamic of the group feels. Again, looks like he's just spacing out, because he probably is, because he's in space. Now, once again, this is the fourth one. You get the idea. He's pink, he's white, he's black, he's red. It's all the exact same stuff. So that is all the same. Oh, I didn't test this. Earlier, I noticed, though, the heads do move a little bit. Now, you don't want to go crazy, I don't think, but they do have a little bit of wiggle. Let me test the other ones. Yeah, none of the rest of them can really move. It's only 2D here's who can move, which is probably not even intentional. It probably just happens to be that way. But his whole head does move a little bit. So his hands look nice. His face looks okay, at least. I like the expression, just don't like the way it was maybe executed. His is kind of more basic. I did happen to notice, and this is at least small and on the back, if you can see it, the red and black circles here, they're obviously off center from where they're supposed to be. You see that white and gray, well, like the indent of the line here, this little circle. It's not a huge difference, but it's pretty different enough where if you were to ever peek at the back, immediately I saw it. It was not hard to miss. Probably the only one of these that actually had an issue. It does carry, unfortunately, a little bit onto the front, but not nearly as noticeable. So again, it's more easy to let slide. You can see it just a little bit there. Unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, obviously I like the pink on his. It's a great pink. It's nice, bright, and vibrant. His is, unfortunately, again, in these 4 sets, for some reason the 2Ds just aren't hitting it for me. Maybe 2D should just stay 2D and not be 3D. There they all are. So I know normally I would do a B-roll thing for them too, but this video is already pretty long enough, and I don't think I'd get a really good angle of them, honestly. So I'll take pictures of them at least, because that doesn't take quite as long. And you know, you can see those. They're gonna be on my Instagram @Desunasa. So just letting you know, it's gonna be a little bit different this week. Obviously, if you have any questions, concerns, if you know what those little flags are on them, let me know. I'm always around. And if you like this video, again, I really appreciate you sticking, especially to the end of this. I know it's gonna be long, so you're a trooper and you're great. Maybe you like me, you should stick around. I do make videos every week, or at least attempt to. You know, I've been busy. I'm gonna be moving soon, so stuff could get a little bit rocky. But I make these just for fun, just something I do in my spare time, because I like figures, I like collecting, and it's fun to hang out and chill with you guys. So find me at all these other places, because I got lots of stuff going on in all sorts of places. And that's gonna be the end. I hope you had a great rest of your last week. I hope you have a great rest of your next week, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Here's the only B-roll footage you guys need. Ready?